I'm 50. I'm not that old, but when you're sleeping all cramped up and weird and stuff, it's like, okay, this is so good, and you don't want to touch the gas pedal, you don't want to touch the brake pedal all night long, so you're all cramped up, all funny, and you got stuff behind your seats. You're not actually leaning back all the way. It's terrible. Hey everybody, welcome back to Exploring Dirt, Tracks, Trails, and Forgotten Tales. We're your hosts. I'm Dan.
And I'm Carm. And today we're going to take you along with us as we share some of the lessons learned from the longest trip we have ever taken, the longest road trip, which was last summer. 5,600 kilometers in 14 days as we traveled through BC. And I have to tell you, we made some mistakes along the way.
Oh, goodness, yes.
And so we thought, we were actually talking about it after we did episode 2 of Quesnel Forks. That was one of our first stops on our road trip through central and northern BC.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were talking, we thought, wow, do you remember when this? And we thought, wow, I wonder how many people have made the same mistake, or we can stop you from making those mistakes, or you can just laugh along with us or at us at the mistakes we made.
Yeah, something like that. What she said.
Anyway, I think number one, we did that 5,600 kilometers in 14 days, 13 and a half because we didn't leave until after work.
Yeah.
And number one, we needed more time.
This trip, 5,600 kilometers, you can drive that no problem. But if you want to stop and see stuff, it's just not enough time. And then, you have all these plans along the way. We're going to stop here, 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 and here. But then you're like, ooh, that's a cool place. We didn't even know that was there. And then you end up spending 2 days there. And then you're like, oh, now everything's screwed up. And how do we make up that time? We just never did.
And we didn't.
We did not.
So we put on a lot of kilometers. We saw some really cool stuff, which we are going to share with you in future episodes. Like I said, we get a little squirrely. We'll see, oh, look at that. Let's take this road. And then all of a sudden we lose track of time.
Yeah.
But so number one, make sure you have enough time, or you stick to the places you want to visit and then make a plan to go back again. I don't know if you have the time to do that. No.
Yeah.
And number two, get an electric cooler because not everywhere has ice.
Okay, this is the weirdest thing that I found about traveling through BC. There is ice pretty much everywhere up until about Dease Lake. And then even there, I don't think there was ice there at the time they were out. But after that, there was no ice until Watson Lake. And that is a long way.
250 kilometers of no ice.
And in that, we ended up staying somewhere in between there for a couple days. And we had to make a 125 kilometer trip to get ice.
Yeah,
we were in the middle of that.
We were kind of about 3/4 of the way to Watson Lake, between Dease Lake and Watson Lake. And we ended up staying for 2 nights because we found a beautiful campsite. Stay tuned. We'll share that with you. So yeah, it took us an hour and a half to drive to get ice, and then an hour and a half back just so our food wouldn't spoil.
So guess what we bought? Electric cooler. That is a must. If you're going to take a trip like that, just buy an electric cooler. The one we bought wasn't very expensive, but it does the trick. Just goes in a cigarette lighter, keeps stuff cold. I mean,
yeah, hook it up to solar panel.
It was about $250, and I really, really wish we had that, because that extra, 125 there and 125 kilometers back, and then time, and it's just a pain in the butt.
We lost half a day of kayaking because we needed ice. So beautiful drive, but then we had to do it again in another day because that's the way we were headed. Anyway, we did that electric cooler, and like Dan said, the one we bought is, it's not the best, but it does the trick. And I have to tell you, even without that trip, it's done really good. We've used it all summer so far, and it's been fantastic.
Yep, definitely a must-have, I think.
Yeah. Number 3, I really wish we bought that rooftop tent last spring.
Oh man, there are the rooftop tent. Like I said in episode 1, it was one of the best purchases we've done. It is so great and going to so many remote places and stuff. But you can also stay in rest stops, Because what we did, because we couldn't always find a camp spot because we didn't book a lot of stuff ahead of time because we just thought, oh, there'll be places to stay.
Or we drove until 9 or 10 o'clock at night to try to make up some time.
And then there was no places to stay. So we ended up staying in rest stops and we had to sleep in the cab of the truck. And I'm going to tell you, that sucks really bad.
We're not 20 anymore.
No.
So we'd be there, we'd pull over. And, well, not really dark because it was light out really all night long by the time we were there. Where there was one spot we pulled in and it was late. And so there were a few nights where we just grabbed our sleeping bags, pulled them into the front seat, leaned our seats back, turned on the speaker and we listened to a audio story. I think we were listening to Tower 4. Great audio story, by the way, if you want something else to listen to. But definitely rooftop tent.
Rooftop tent, or a lot of people have trailers and stuff like that, which is different and fine too. But if you're just tenting, it's really hard sometimes to find a spot. So a rooftop tent or a trailer is definitely a must for this type of trip, I think.
And sometimes when you pull in, even if you get a campsite and you're pulling in at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, the last thing you want to do is set up a tent. You just want to get some sleep and some rest before you hit the road the next day. Because you want to make the most of the daylight hours so you can explore. That's what we do, exploring dirt. We like to explore. So we do a lot of our traveling late in the evening, really early in the morning. So, rooftop tent, bonus for this year, I have to tell you.
Yeah, next time we do a trip like that, it'll be much easier for us, absolutely.
Those are honestly the top 3 things that we learned. Some of the other ones, because you stay in rest stops, some of the campsites that we stayed in did not have showers. I have to tell you, rec centers are a lifesaver to have a shower.
Yeah, I mean, and most of them are pretty cheap. $4 or $5, you go in and get to have a nice long hot shower and use their facilities. And if you want, you can probably go for a swim too, I believe.
I think if you pay a little bit extra, you can use the pool and the hot tub. Sometimes it's the Y, sometimes it's their community center.
Yeah, but a hot shower is amazing on a trip. Again, we don't have a motorhome or a trailer, so there's no shower there. So I mean, that is definitely a great thing.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't have that are tenting, rec centers, if you're taking long trips, definite place to stop. So nice. One of the other things, I'm going to kind of circle back to the whole cooler thing, is dehydrated food or foods that don't have to be in a cooler.
Yeah, that's a big one. Especially when there's times when you're traveling, and again, we travel late at night and then we travel early in the morning because we explore during the daytime. When you get back to your campsite at like 9 o'clock at night, the last thing you want to do is spend a lot of time cooking. So to boil some water and chuck it into a dehydrated meal is way easier.
It really is.
Than having to make a big meal and clean up your mess. And then you get sick of hot dogs and smokies too, right? You can only have so many of those before you're just like, I just can't do another one of those this week.
So when we're traveling, our kind of go-to, if we have a campfire or just even that, it's like smokies and instant mashed potatoes. And I have to tell you, that gets old really fast and it's not very healthy for you. So these dehydrated meals are good. I started making my own dehydrated meals before we went on this trip. So we had quite a few, which was great. And we can control the sodium and the fat and the protein and everything that goes into it. So we really, really do like those, and it takes up less room. And if you run out of ice, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
You just have to deal with warm beer and wine. Not
the best.
Anyways, dehydrated food or prepared meals that don't have to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
If you don't have that cooler, plus they take up less space.
Yeah, space is a big thing too. Traveling that long, we just had a pickup truck, right? No trailer. So space is huge. Yeah,
it was awesome. One of the other things though too is one of the things that we always do, and this wasn't a lesson learned. We've done this before and we do this whenever we visit a new place. Go to the visitor center. And not just, they usually have clean bathrooms, but go to talk to the people that are there. They're a wealth of information about the area. We found some really cool places.
Yeah, we sure have.
Going into those visitor centers. It's been really neat. So make sure you do that. Don't bypass them. Stop in there. Ask them questions. They work there for a reason. They know the area. Tell them what you like to do. We usually look for history and museums. One of the other things we do, we always check out museums. But
Hey, here's a fun fact about museums, which we found out this year. So whenever you go to a museum, they always ask you to sign the guest book. Mm-hmm. And we were always like, yeah, sure, why not? We'll sign it. But we actually found out when we were in Headley, in the Headley Museum, the lady says, yeah, sign the guest book. I was like, yeah, sure. She says, we don't get a lot of grants from the government because not a lot of people sign the book. And well, what do you mean? So apparently you have to have so many signatures in a summer in order to get a decent sized grant to keep your museum open. Otherwise, you have to rely on like local donations and stuff like that to keep it running, and volunteers and stuff. So if you go to the museum, always sign the book. It's easy, it's free, and it helps the museum out. Definitely, you should be doing that.
Takes you a couple of seconds to sign the guest book. I think it is. We do that everywhere we go now. Sign the guest book.
Sign the guest book.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's another. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We learned that too. Not on that trip, but we learn something new every time we go somewhere. Yeah. But we wanted to share some of these things that we learned because I have to tell you, sleeping in the truck overnight, like I said, we're not 20 anymore. Mm-hmm.
Once or twice was okay, but we did it probably 6 or 7 times. And by the last one, it was just my body hurt. I don't know about her. I'm 50. I'm not that old, but when you're sleeping all cramped up and weird and stuff, it's like, okay, this is so good. And you don't want to touch the gas pedal. You don't want to touch the brake pedal all night long. So you're all cramped up, all funny. And, you got stuff behind your seats. You're not actually leaning back all the way. It's terrible. Just terrible.
Okay, to be fair, I offered to change seats with you because I'm shorter. And you're like, no, it's okay. I can deal with the steering wheel. So his fault. He did not want to change seats with me. But definitely that electric cooler, because you never know when you can find ice. A couple of places were out of ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of places did not have blocks of ice.
No, just cubes.
There were places, a lot of the places up in the northern part, like past Quesnel area, only carried cubes. So even if you did find ice, you had to throw cubes into your cooler to keep your stuff cold. And cubes don't stay frozen long.
Yeah.
The purpose of the blocks is to keep your cooler cold. So yeah, we were finding we were spending way more money on ice than we had to when we could.
It would have paid for about 3 electric coolers.
Yeah.
So anyways, definitely that. The rooftop tent, if you have a trailer, good on you, or that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Lucky you. We don't because of the places that we go to, but rooftop tent, I highly recommend. We love ours. And the other one, more time. If you're going to travel almost 6,000 kilometers, don't try to fit it in 14 days if you want to see anything.
Yeah, wow. We saw some cool stuff, but we bypassed a lot. And even the stuff that we did see, we did not see enough of it. As you got there, like, this is really cool. It's like, oh, got to go. Got to get to our next destination. So we really did miss a lot. We do have to make this trip again now, but now we know where to start and kind of go from there.
Yeah, but we did see some really neat places, and we are going to make this trip again. And we're going to share these episodes, like further episodes coming up. Mm-hmm. We're going to share some of the highlights of our trip. We saw some amazing things throughout BC. Like I said, we started in Kelowna. We made it all the way up to Watson Lake, Yukon, and then we came back down the other way.
Yeah, we went up on the west side of BC, came down on the east side of BC.
Yeah, it was awesome with a couple of detours into Stewart and Kitimat, and it was awesome. So stay tuned for those episodes. But we wanted to share some of these things. If you have anything, tips, tricks, mistakes that you've made on your trips.
Oh, we want to hear about them.
We do. We definitely want to hear about them, share them, and let us know.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Like I said, stay tuned because we're going to share. Stay tuned for our next episodes because we're going to share some really. This is
the beginning of a series. We don't know how many there's going to be yet, but there will be a series of future episodes about where we went in this trip.
Yeah.
That we did.
Places to stay, things to see, how much it costs to get into some of the attractions and historic sites that we saw. And stick with us. And if you want a preview of what we're going to talk about, you can always head over to our YouTube page, Exploring Dirt with Dan and Carm, because we have started a couple of those. Quesnel Forks is on there. Historic Hat Creek is on there, and more to come.
Yeah, you betcha. So anyway, that's a wrap for this episode. So yeah, stay curious, stay adventurous, and we'll see you out there.